Hi guys, my name is Marina Hubbard, and today I'll be doing a presentation on the Boston Marathon bombing following the manhunt. On Monday, 15th, 2013, multiple bombs exploded during the Boston Marathon. The bombs went off around 2:49 p.m. in the afternoon as runners finished the race. 3 people were killed. 1 out of the 3 people were an 8-year-old boy. So sad. More than 264 people were injured or wounded. The first explosion happened on Boston Street close to the finish line. The second explosion occurred 10 seconds later, yards away. The third explosion happened during the afternoon at the JFK Library, but the officials confirmed that the incident was not connected. 3 days after the marathon bombing, the FBI released photos and videos of 2 suspects in the hope that the police could help identify them. They knew that somebody out there knew one of these suspects as friends or family members that would come forward and tell that they knew these 2 suspects. After the FBI releases the photos, it was reported that 2 suspects robbed a gas station in the Central Square, then shot and killed an officer by the name of Sean Collins in his car. Afterwards, the 2 men hijacked a SUV and told the drivers that they had set off the explosion at the marathon. Boston police pursued the vehicle in Watertown. During the shootout, Boston police was shot and one of the suspects, identified as Timberland, was killed, and he had a suicide vest when they found his body. The other suspect, by the name of Dishar, ages 19, remained at large for several hours, causing a massive manhunt and lockdown for all of Boston and many other surrounding communities. The manhunt continued throughout Friday, causing everything to be shut down. Business, grocery stores, transportation, roads, they shut down everything until he was found alive, but seriously injured, hiding in a boat behind a house in Watertown. A man had called the police and said that he was monitoring his backyard, and he went on his boat to check it out, and he seen a man bleeding. The police surrounded the man's home and discovered that it was discharged. The 2 suspects were brothers and had been living together. They had lived in the United States for about 10 years, but were from the area of Russia. 3 additional arrests were made in connection to the Boston Marathon bombing. Diaz and Asmart were arrested and charged with concealing evidence during the federal investigation. Another suspect was was charged for lying to the federal investigation. All 3 were close friends of Dishar. If found guilty, Diaz and Amzart could receive 5 years in prison, and Robel could receive 8 years. Sorry. Dishar was questioned for about 16 hours by investigators, but stopped communicating with him on the night because Dishar had not previously been given a Miranda warning, as federal law enforcement invoked the warning. Public safety expectation. This raised doubts whether his statements during this investigation would be admissible as evidence and led to debate surrounding the Miranda rights. Request to move trial denied. One of the suspects, Asmart, pleaded guilty to the investigation by concealing evidence from Desjardins' dorm room. 2 months later, I'm sorry. The trial began during the first day. Desjardins' attorney surprised the court by admitting that he was responsible for the tragic attack. Previously, Desjardins had pleaded guilty to 30 counts, including using the weapon of a mass destruction resulting in death. As the trial continued, prosecutors revealed new video footage from the marathon scene, and witnesses shared their disturbing memories of that day. On April 8th, deliberating for 11 hours, the jury found Desjardins guilty on all the 30 counts in the phase 1 of his federal death penalty trial. The verdict was read in the Boston courthouse in front of bomber survivors, families, and victims. Next, the trial moved to phase 2. The penalty phase, where the same jury decided whether to sentence Desjardins to life in prison or death. Desjardins was sentenced to death on May 15, 2015. At the end of the trial penalty phase, at his sentence hearing the following month, Desjardins spoke publicly and confessed that the first time since his arrest, he apologized to the victims, survivors, and packed Boston courtroom. I would like to state in that he would like to now apologize to the victims and survivors. If there is any lingering doubt, I did it along with his brother, and he was sorry for the lives he had taken, for the sufferings had caused, and for the terrible damage he had done. He apologized came just before a judge handed down a sentence of death by lethal injection. 2013 Boston bombing was the worst act of terrorism to take place in the United States since September 11th.